True summer vacation. Horror stories. Summer always felt like freedom to me, a long stretch of warm air. Bright skies, open roads, and quiet nights where nothing was supposed to go wrong. But the year I turned 21, I learned that vacations don't always take you away from things. Sometimes they lead you straight toward them. I remember it clearly because it was the first time I had ever traveled alone. I chose a small coastal town. One of those places that looks like it hasn't changed in decades, with old boardwalks, faded signs, quiet cafes, and a beach that stretches farther than you can see. When I arrived, everything felt calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that makes you feel like you're stepping into a picture instead of real life. The guest house I booked was small and old, with wooden floors that creaked even when no one was walking. The owner handed me a key and smiled a little too long before telling me that most people only stay one night in the summer. I laughed because I thought he was joking, but his smile never changed. That first evening, I sat on the balcony watching the waves move slowly under the moon and thinking about how peaceful everything felt, until I noticed a light near the far end of the beach, far beyond where the houses stopped. It wasn't from a building or a boat, just a single, steady glow hovering close to the water. I thought it might be someone fishing or maybe a late-night walker, so I ignored it. But every night after that, the same light came back, always at the same spot. Always the same brightness, and for some reason, always a little closer to the shore. The fourth night, curiosity got the better of me and I decided to walk toward it. The sand felt colder than I expected, and the wind kept changing direction as if it couldn't decide where it wanted to go. When I got closer, I realized the light wasn't attached to anything, no lamp, no phone, no visible source, just a soft glow sitting above the waves. And when I reached the point where it should have been, it vanished instantly, leaving the beach darker than before, like the night had closed in around me. And as I stood there trying to make sense of it, I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, careful footsteps that stopped the moment I turned around. There was no one there, just the empty beach and the sound of waves. The next morning, I asked a local cafe worker if there were any night fishermen or people who went to the beach late. She looked at me for a long moment before saying, "People don't go that far, down the shore anymore. Not since the summer." The light started appearing. I wanted to ask more, but she just changed the subject and walked away like she had already said too much. The second part of my trip was meant to be more exciting. I rented a car and drove inland toward a popular lake where tourists usually camp during summer break. The road got narrower. The further I went, trees closing in on both sides until the sunlight barely touched the pavement. My signal disappeared about 20 minutes before I reached the lake, but I didn't think much of it because that felt normal in remote areas. When I arrived, there were only 2 other cars in the parking area, and the lake looked peaceful, perfectly still, like a mirror reflecting the sky. I set up a small picnic near the water and tried to enjoy the quiet. Then I noticed something strange on the opposite shore. There were tents lined up, 3 of them, all facing the lake, perfectly spaced, like they had been placed with intention. But there were no people around, no voices, no smoke from a fire, just tents. Standing there silently, I assumed the campers might have gone hiking or swimming, so I ignored it. But as the hours passed, no one returned. The sun started to drop, and the air grew colder, and those tents remained untouched, like no one had ever been there yet. They looked new. Even the fabric didn't move with the wind. That's when I noticed one more detail. None of them had entrances. They were zipped shut completely. No openings at all, just sealed fabric. Standing in the fading light, I felt a strange pressure in my chest, like the air got heavier, and without thinking, I packed everything quickly and headed back to the car. When I turned the key, it didn't start at first, and in that moment of silence, I heard something soft from across the lake. Not a voice, not a call, just a slow dragging sound like fabric moving over rocks. I didn't look, I just kept turning the key until the engine finally came to life, and as I drove away, I forced myself not to check the mirror because some part of me was afraid I would see the tents closer than they had any right to be. The last part of my vacation was supposed to be a simple road trip back home. I planned to stop at a small town halfway for the night because driving tired never ends well. The town wasn't on my original route, but a sign on the highway pointed toward it saying, "Lodging, food, gas, all available." The road leading there was deserted. Not a single other car. No lights except my headlights. Cutting through the dark, When I reached the town, it felt too quiet, like it was holding its breath. The motel I chose had only one car in the lot and one light glowing above the office desk. The receptionist didn't ask for my ID, just handed me a key and told me the room number as if she already knew me. The room was clean. Simple. Nothing unusual, but when I laid down I felt like I wasn't alone. Not because I heard anything or saw anything, but because the silence itself felt crowded. Sometime after midnight, I heard a soft knock on the door. Slow and careful, one knock, then another. I didn't move at first, thinking maybe I imagined it. Then it came again. 3 gentle taps, like someone trying not to wake anyone else. I finally got up and looked through the door viewer and saw no one, just an empty hallway with dim lights flickering. I opened the door slightly and found a piece of paper on the floor. Not an advertisement, not a receipt, just a plain sheet with a single sentence written in neat handwriting. Enjoying your summer. The words sent a chill through me because I hadn't told anyone where I was staying. Not even friends. I locked the door and didn't sleep for the rest of the night. Morning came, slowly, gray light filtering through the curtains. And when I went downstairs to check out, the office was empty. No receptionist, no bell, no sound. Just a stack of keys on the counter and a guest book. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. And when I flipped through the pages, I saw names, dates, and short comments. Most of them saying things like peaceful place, quiet night, relaxing, stay until the last page where a fresh entry had been written, in the same handwriting as the note. It said they always enjoy summer. At first I left without looking back, drove straight home and tried to tell myself it was all just nerves, just coincidence, just travel stress. But even now, months later, whenever summer nights get too quiet or the air feels too still, I remember the beach light moving closer, the silent tents across the lake, and the gentle knock at the motel door. And I can't help but think that some places remember you long after you've left, and that not every vacation ends when you come back home.